Good evening and welcome to Ask a Unicorn. I'm Ahura, and this is my sidekick, Kazi.
Hello, today's August 17th, 2016, and it is episode 96. Where's the camera? There it is.
And this little girl is Vala. Say hi, Vala. Hello.
You can't even see your eyes. It's
No.
all black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, welcome to another show. As you all know, I'm Ahura, and the name of the show is Ask the Unicorn. I will answer questions. Any questions of a metaphysical, paranormal, mystical, and spiritual nature. However, there are two types of questions that is whether or not someone is going to die, or whether or not someone is cheating on someone. Sorry about that. I had to move something. If you have those type of questions and you're asking about someone, you should probably address the person that you're asking about. Aside from that, any question that you ask, I will answer as long as we can all benefit from it and we can all learn from it. So, before we get into the show tonight, however, I'd like to send a shout out to all my colleagues in the Independent Film Network, New England Independent Film Network. And we're all coming out with some great films. Valkyr is the first episode of Valkyr is actually near finished. And I'm very proud of it and very pleased with it. And I'm sure that you'll all be very pleased with it. And I will give you soon, we'll make announcements as to where it's going to show, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you'd like to find out more about Valkyr, you can look us up at on Unicorvia Pictures, and that's www.unicorviapictures.com or www.valkyrmovie.com. And I'm sure you'll get to see the progress of the film. Now, another thing that I'd like to address, I need to address young women. And when I say young women, I actually mean all women, young, old, in between, whatever. There has been a rash of women being assaulted or raped while they were unconscious, and the perpetrators getting away with it. Judges allowing the perpetrators to go free, or just giving them minimal sentences as if to say that the lives of these women do not matter, or that the state of these women do not matter. And one judge said that he felt as if a prison sentence would negatively impact the life of the rapist.
What it's supposed to.
It would negatively impact the life of the rapist, but never even taken into consideration how it impacted the life of the young lady that he raped. Now, I need to say this, and this is just for, you all can take it the way that you want to take it. This shows a marked disrespect and disregard for the life of women. It shows that judge is in cahoots with someone else that would allow that person to escape his proper punishment. And frankly, I think the proper punishment for rape is castration. However, another judge decided that it wouldn't be that prison would not be a viable form of rehabilitation for this rapist who actually planned to rape this young lady. And I have to say that I honestly believe that he had something to do with her being unconscious. And I think the first guy did too. There was another person that got off easy with raping someone. I recently read an article about a woman that was raped in front of her child. Mm-hmm. And the judge allowed this man to go free. Now, I have to say this as well. All three of the perpetrators were Caucasian. And the one black person that did the same thing got 15 years in prison. Now, that's not to say, well, he was black, so he deserved to get more, or he was, it's just shown two things: a blatant disregard for the life of women and the biased nature of our law enforcement and even the judicial system. If there was a young woman that I knew, a friend of mine, or a relative that suffered that at the hands of one of those young men, or any young man, or any man, period, that man would not get off with it. He would not get away with it. There is no place in heaven, hell, or earth, no place in heaven, hell, or earth that he could hide. How these people are allowed to walk the streets is beyond me. How they are allowed any type of concession is beyond me. I don't even want to too long entertain it. I'm just saying, you women, you all need to defend yourselves. You should all be armed. I don't care if you don't like guns. I don't care if you don't like weapons. If this becomes a trend, and it looks like it is, because someone is actually fixing it so that, and I've heard of masculinist groups that don't think that rape should be called rape. These are not masculinist groups. These are apes. They are worse than Neanderthals. They are the slime of this earth on two legs. I say you need to learn to fight. If you need to learn how to defend yourself, I'll be happy to help you. And there are others that are happy to help you. Okay? It is time that you all stood up. All of you women, it is time for you to stand up. And I don't mean stand up in groups that are walking around hating men. That's stupid. What I'm saying is that you must learn to defend yourself, and you must learn to do certain things so that you do not get accosted, or so that you do everything possible to avoid that particular type of action. 1, you do not need to go out alone to some bar. 2, you do not need to go out alone to some bar with somebody that you do not know. And 3, you don't drink anything that you didn't see prepared. And if you have to leave your drink, you might as well throw it in the garbage. Okay, seriously. And for you young men that know these characters, don't defend them. They are not men. They need to all turn in their man card. They are a bunch of cowards. They're a bunch of slime. They're lower than any fecal matter on the face of this earth. It is not necessary to do such things. And it's time that we grow up. For those of you that are grown-ups, the rest of you have grown up. I'm just saying I needed to address that particular thing because it kind of made me angry. It made me angry that some stupid judge that does not deserve to be sitting on that bench made a decision not to penalize this person for whatever reason for doing such a heinous crime, not taking into consideration how that young woman felt. Pretty much blaming the woman for being drunk, blaming the woman for being out, and blaming the woman for breathing, pretty much. So, I've said my piece on that. I had to say my piece on it. And if those of you that think that you disagree with it, I don't care. Because everyone in all divine realms knows, had it been someone that I knew, that person would not be walking right now. So, onward and upward. The unicorn is in. I'm listening.
I'm going to keep staring.
What do you got?
Shout out to Stephanie, Ava, Carrie, Tabari, and Michelle are on, and they say hi. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Stacy,
Girls and guy.
Girls and guy. Stacy and Rebecca are on.
Hello, Stacy and Rebecca.
And we have a couple of questions.
Okay, what do you got?
It says, is there such a thing as an empty soul? For example, I met a person and of course he had a spirit / soul, but it was like he was an empty container, like a shell. What can you explain that?
Get her.
Who's her? They're fine.
The puppy right there.
She's fine.
No, you look in the wrong direction. No, there's no such thing as an empty soul.
Like an empty shell.
There are shells. There are people that are hollowed out necessarily, but they're not really empty. There's not an empty soul. There may be a soul that does not have much experience, and we call that generally a new soul, or even an old soul that has not a lot of experience. But then there are other creatures that we might term as soulless. Understand this, there are many different types of beings on many different types of realms. They are not all experienced, so to speak. They're a little more than automatons, a little more than shadows. That person that you met may have had an experience that caused them to feel like that. But if they were human and they're walking around, they most definitely have some semblance of a soul. And all of your souls could be termed as empty, and they can all be termed as full, because you don't know the breadth of your soul. You have no idea what your soul does, just like the rest of us do. We only know what our expressions are. The soul is that thing that is fathomable yet unfathomable. So, is there such thing as a human shell? Yes. Is there such thing as an empty soul? No. Hope that helps you.
That's funny because another person just asked the same question that Stacy's asking. Are some humans soulless, without a soul? And my first thought was yes, it could be, but then she said, I'd like to ask the unicorn.
No, there are some, yeah, you're not supposed to be answering questions.
I didn't answer them. What are you talking about? It was a separate one.
Okay. There are shells that are born. There are people that they're not necessarily soulless, and if they are, it's because they're about to be prepared for a soul. There are some people who are walk-ins. In other words, who they were when they started off wasn't able to handle a certain amount of experience, so someone else was brought in to take the place of that person. Hi, baby. I see you. Yes, I see you. I know you are here. Okay.
She was a cat.
It's kind of like babies. Now, there's been a huge controversy over whether or not the moment that a person gets pregnant, they have a soul. I hate to kind of burst, well, no, I don't. I don't hate to burst a bubble. It's just the truth. Listen, when they're first conceived, that doesn't mean that they have a soul. When they first kick, there's someone there. Okay? However, they do not go to full term without having a soul. No one does. There are those beings that were animated by arcane things. We used to call those golems or zombies. Okay? They're kind of like yourself. This is Lythia. And she has this thing that she does. She bumps you with her head.
No, Lala does that too.
Okay. And she's very sweet. And, you know, just to hold her for a second, you'll fall in love with her. She's so sweet. Aren't you, baby? You know, anyway. Yeah, I know. They're right there. I can see them.
Fat toes. Fat toes.
Yeah, this one is like that.
Lala's underneath your chair.
There are many different types of beings, and it would take me very long to explain all of the nuances, but I will attempt to help you out. There are beings that are, if they're the type of beings that I think they are, they're kind of like, they're fakes. They're not real. Okay? If you meet someone that you honestly believe is like, there's a pretty good chance that they were cloned, or that they are just ran by some type of an energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be a soul, but every human has a soul. They have developed ways to create people now. So it could just be an automaton, and I don't mean a robot. I just mean a created flesh person. All they need is a little DNA and some energy. Remember, they may be able to clone something, but that doesn't mean that it has a soul. It doesn't even mean that it has a spirit. It's nothing more than a robot. If it's a robot, it doesn't really have a soul, except for if you count the energy that is running it, which basically comes from the universe and comes from Earth. In that case, you could say that it has the effect of a soul. Remember, everything is connected. But if those types of beings are walking this earth right now, pretty much it means that we're on our way to being expendable as a human race. Just a thought. So, we fight for our humanity. We fight for our souls. We fight for our spirits. You can always tell the difference between someone that is a hollow. You're talking about a clone. But every human has a soul. I hope that helps you. What else you got?
We have a question from guest 721, which is Karen. She says, Karen might not. She says, I have a question, not sure if it can be answered. I've had pain in my stomach area and swelling. I have a scar about 8 inches long from my belly button and up from a spleen aneurysm repair. Then a short time later, a hernia repair 10 years ago. I'm fearing something is wrong again, perhaps another hernia because of my bulging. Is that something that
third circuit malfunction?
You can.
That's a third circuit malfunction. That means that your energy is quite affected as well. Perhaps wherever you are, if you're near me, perhaps you can come by, and I can see about adjusting your third circuit, because that's what it sounds like it is. If you're not anywhere near me, then find an energy worker that can deal with third circuit readjustment or chakra alignment, and see if that will fix the problem. Because if you had all of that in that particular area, that's right about the solar plexus on you. So I think that it would help you to get some energy work, some third circuit energy repair or energy work. Okay, because it could cause a lot of different difficulties. Remember, you have 7 major energy centers in your body. I say major energy centers or chakras. Each one of these chakras deal with a different part of your body. They dictate everything, the energy flow. They dictate whether or not you get an affliction, or even if you injure yourself, in one of those particular areas. So it's imperative for you to learn about chakra work and learn how to take care of your different circuits. First circuit, which deals with the legs and your root. Second circuit deals with sacral issues and also intimacy issues and so forth, creative issues, and inspiration and passion. Third circuit deals with your energy output and what you receive, your movement, your dynamics, what you're motivated at. And even if it's malfunctioning, it can cause depression. So there are so many different things. It can cause body malfunctions in this particular area. Fourth circuit deals with your heart and emotional and feeling issues, and also your empathetic issues. And the fifth circuit deals with communication, to and fro communication, also part of the fourth. So they work in conjunction with each other. So it's communication and feeling. In other words, how you express certain things, and whether or not you can communicate honestly, and whether or not you're receiving honest input back. Your sixth circuit deals with your visionary experiences, also how you perceive things in the physical, in the esoteric, and the mixture of the two, which we would like to call things like daydreaming, but it's really not daydreaming. It's actually just visioning. And it helps you to process energy. It's kind of like, it's a huge transformer or translator. It takes energy and translates it so that you can actually perceive things. And your seventh circuit deals with head areas. Oh, by the way, the sixth deals with ear, nose, and throat. Also, along with the fifth, and also deals with your vision, your eyes, your hearing. It deals with your memory, etc., etc. All those things that are associated with your sixth circuit. The seventh circuit is kind of what you let go of your. It's where you ascend out from, so to speak. It doesn't mean that's necessarily that's where you leave your body from, but although it can mean that, it also means that that's where your seat of evolution is. Okay, going into your higher body, so to speak. So there are definitely different energies that are associated with it, and it's important to take care of all of those. Sometimes I have to adjust a person's crown chakra, which is also called the seventh circuit, because it can get disaligned with the rest of your circuits and cause all kinds of things, even things like migraines, other types of headaches. Six can cause migraines because it's connected with the eyes. You know, the fifth can cause things like cold, sore throats, congestion, and so forth, along with the fourth. Emotional issues, you'd be amazed at what an emotional issue can cause and affect in your body. Your third circuit deals with all of your energy, and it's been known as or called the psychic circuit because it also deals with the seat of intuition. So for that to get clogged or to get blocked in some way could affect your body, your whole core, pretty much. Now, there's an interesting nuance to that. Most women, I'll say most women are born with a fully functioning third circuit, whereas most men are not born with a fully functioning third circuit. When they are born with a fully functioning third circuit, they actually turn out like I do, like I am, kind of and I used to refer to it as being a fluke. It's not necessarily a fluke. It's just I have a developed third circuit, so I can see better. Anyone can develop their third circuit. You just have to do certain things. And I might recommend this to you too when you can see your way to doing it. Maybe some simple exercises. Because your third circuit also deals with your motivation and your ability to exercise. It is also that which causes you to manipulate your body in a way that will boost you and help you. It is a circuit of dynamic and movement and also enthusiasm. There's also the deals with your acceptance of certain things. Okay, so I definitely think that you're having a third circuit problem. I was going to say to make a long story short, but it's too late. I hope that helps you out. Okay, what else do we got?
Next, we have a question from guest 748 by the name of Sean.
Okay, what do you got?
Can a spirit or ghost re-enter a human body and to take over?
That depends. They can enter into a human spirit, but usually that's because of an agreement. But that's what usually happens when people do things like play with Ouija boards or go into the astral realm. They invite that. So there's not necessarily a takeover. It's more like a battle for cohabitation. Remember, every spirit is assigned to a body. So if there's another spirit that inhabits someone else's body that doesn't meet the same requirements, what happens is the body begins to deteriorate almost instantaneously. That is the form with rarities such as possession. And remember, a possession is very, very rare. But when it does happen, the body begins to deteriorate almost immediately because that's not the spirit or that's not the person that's supposed to be inhabiting that biomechanical unit. So it doesn't have the right codes, it doesn't have the right energy, it doesn't have the right signature. So the body sees it as dead. So it begins to decay.
He says, he reposted his question. He says, can a spirit or ghost re-enter a human body and take over? I think he's saying, I took a photo from outside my house, looking up at the house in the window, looking out, there was me. And even my son looked at the photo and said that the ghost looked like me.
Well, it can't really do that because it's you. The ghost can mimic you, if that's what you're asking. Any spiritual entity can mimic any other being. Remember, where they are, there's no time and space, which basically means there's no real form.
Be there. You cannot be there.
You know, there's no real form. And since there's no real form, that means that they can take almost any form. Okay, so if they're mimicking you, then that means that they're either trying to communicate with you or there's something that they want from you. Okay, so that's not necessarily a takeover. That's just a mimic. Now, if you feel that there's an attachment to you, then you should seek help immediately, because they can attach themselves to you depending on what it is you've done to invite the attachment. But I tell people this all the time. You don't mess with things like Ouija boards. You don't mess with things like what they call spirit boards or angel boards, because they're all the same thing. They are a contract. And since they are a contract, you don't know what's being communicated to you on the other side. All you know is that you're answering yes and no, and you're spelling out things. Well, they may be spelling out things too, but where they are, it's a different language that is spoken. The spiritual realm doesn't all speak English. And since you don't know what it's saying, you could be agreeing to something coming out and inhabiting you or staying with you. Keep in mind that it can't necessarily take you over, well, not for a long period of time, but usually that's not the course of another being. That's something demonic. An astral form or an astral being can attach itself to you and summarily drain your energy so that it can exist. And if you don't break the form, if you don't break that particular attachment, it can cause some severe things. Not necessarily kill you, but it can cause a very, very weakened state. And the moment that your energy gets in a weakened state, you will contract a sickness or an illness. So it's very, very serious. The spiritual is very, very serious. And to make a spirit, for instance, there's a young lady that asked me about this one game that kids are playing on YouTube, and they call it a Charlie challenge. And it's basically calling forth or trying to summon a spirit. That's one of the most dangerous things that you can do. Even a person as experienced as myself would not do that. There's no reason for me to do that. It's absolutely absurd to think that you can go and fool around with the spirit, especially if you're trying to do something like summon a demon. Listen, I don't care what kind of agreement you make with the demon, it is going to break it. It is evil, therefore it has no real morals. It does not have to agree with you. It does not have to keep its word with you. They are real, and they are very, very bad things. Okay? And they will destroy you. You know? I know that there are many people in this world that have illusions of grandeur, believing that they can deal with demons on any level and have that demon give them something. Oh, they might give you something, all right, but what they'll take far outweighs what he will get. Seriously. So, that being said, they can mimic you. They can make other people think that they're you as well. And they do study you. And they have all the time in the world to study you. So, hope that answers your question. I hope it helps you. What else have we got?
Miyoko and Ron St. Hilaire is on. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Ron says, good to see you guys tonight.
Thanks. Good to see you too.
We have another question.
Okay.
Can
What
you,
is it?
It's from Angie. She wants to.
Oh my goodness.
Can you explain again the correlation between Pisces and Neptune
Angie.
in an astrological sense?
Angie, I'm not going to talk about your boyfriends.
No, she wants to know about
I know what she
Neptune and
wants to know.
Pisces.
Pisces is the fish. Neptune is the god of the sea.
I guess you assigned her to watch the show.
Yeah. I did.
So she's got questions now. She wants to make sure you know that she's watching.
I knew she was watching already. And she said she was going to get that hoodlum.
You need to put
Here,
them
give her to me. Give her
up
to
on
me.
the gate.
Give her to me.
Oh, jeez. There. Ugh. You laptop or puppy, one or the other.
My daughter is a calamity. Come here.
It's either the laptop or the puppy. Pick one.
Listen, you're a thug.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
Look at that face. Can't even see it. Her eyes are like
That's
tiny, narrow
Cersei.
little slits.
Okay. Neptune, also known as Poseidon. Pisces, in the sea. You know, Pisces has to do with liberation, also has to do with purity, it has to do with spirit, and has to, in mythology, has to do with water. And it's known as one of the water signs. And the symbology of it is a fish, Pisces. Piscean is a sea dweller. Okay, Neptune is the king of the sea, or the god of the sea, god of the water. It's really quite simple. I've told you this before. That's the correlation. Also, it has to do with 360-degree vision and enlightenment. So, Neptune also being the god of representation of vision. Okay, the color is blue. The sign that Neptune rules in is what? What? What is it? Pisces.
You're asking me because I was waiting for Cersei to answer. I kept looking at her like, Cersei, you gonna answer this, Cersei?
She did. She did just like this. That's Pisces. Okay. So there's your correlation. Okay. Isn't she gorgeous?
With their little narrow
No, they're
eyes.
open.
She's
Okay.
the itty bitty.
Next
They're
question.
like little slits. So cute. Sean is elaborating. He says the next day my son was over and he went into his old bedroom to change and the door locked him in. He knew it was locked from the outside. I had to unlock it. Strange things are always happening here.
Okay, then that means that your place is what we like to call, well, what people like to call haunted. And that means that there is someone trying to reach out or actually trying to communicate with you. Unfortunately, they're doing the wrong thing. You have to understand that even spirits have their moments of not doing the right thing. Okay, and remember, they just lose their bodies. They don't lose anything else. They'll still keep their character. They'll just, keep their character in a different body or wait for another body. So I might recommend one, if there's someone local that you can find that will do the investigation, and two, someone local that will go in and clean that entity out if he is causing havoc. Okay?
The dog likes to sleep next to the power block.
Yes. It's harmless. It's fine. I've done it all day today.
It's Bucky.
All right, then. What else did you got? I hope that helps you out. If you can't find anyone, give me a call. I'll have you I'll walk you through some techniques to put up protective shields against such things. Because if you're scaring people, that's wrong. That's against free will act. You sound like a politician. That's against one of the laws, one of the spiritual laws. Okay, stay off of that.
No
Stay with that.
questions. No questions yet.
Okay.
Miyoko says hi.
Hi, Miyoko. How are you? Say hi. Say hi to Miyoko.
Oh my god, Hiroshi must have looked like that. Oh,
Hiroshi was never this mellow.
no. He was like, I bet he was like Bucky.
Oh, some of the puppies will be going up for sale soon. I haven't decided which ones just yet. I know that Cersei will probably be staying with me. But they'll be coming up for sale soon. They have to spend some time with their mom first. Okay. So I'm just letting you all know that.
Witness!
Now, if you have any other questions, you can either give us a call at area code 207-347-5686, or you can just type your question here. We'll be more than happy to answer it. If you're interested in classes, because I do teach classes in psychic development, paranormal investigation, and spiritual development. And you can contact us at www.unicorn-code.com, or give us a call at area code 207-347-5686, and that is Unicorn Code School of Metaphysics. and I will be happy to teach you. Now, I teach a lot of different classes, and we will custom something that will help you the most. Okay, it will all be practical application of mysticism and spiritual thought. So, just let us know. Any questions yet?
No.
Okay, again, you guys are being very, very quiet. I know that you're all mesmerized by this beautiful puppy that I'm holding. You know, but if you have some questions, now's the time to ask them. Okay. So remember, the more questions you ask, the more I get to teach.
I have a question. Can we keep Lala?
For those students that are watching the show, again, I would ask that you ask questions that everyone can learn from. That way, everyone knows what we're talking about. Try not to ask questions about what you're learning in your class, okay? Because that is your class that has been custom to you. Okay. So, no more questions yet?
No.
Is there a subject that anyone would like for me to cover?
Sean says, thanks. I'm not afraid. I have had many ghost hunters here. They say it is demonic, but have done nothing.
It's not demonic. Listen, they were wrong. If it was demonic, you'd both be sick. I might as well tell you that. You'd both be sick, and a locked door or a door closing behind someone would be the least of your worries. Okay? They like to call everything a demon because they don't know what a demon is. Okay? So they say things just to, be scary.
She's got eyes.
I am telling you that if it were a demon, your state right now, your state of being would be horrible. It would be bad. It would be ill. It would be troubled beyond reason. Demons are not a joke. They're not cute. They're not calm. They don't let people walk all over them, nor are they something to be toyed with. Okay, so all of these shows that you watch, and I'm telling you, they're all phony. And the groups that come in and say that something is demonic and they walked out unscathed, they have absolutely no idea what they're talking to, and you should never hire them again. See, that was an agreement.
Look at that face.
So, any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Ling looking at you like,
I know.
please put my baby down.
No.
Whatever, Ling, you don't care. Even if they start whining, you're just like, eh.
She just wants to chew my fingers. That's all. Here, I'll put her down. Okay. Just keep her up from over there. Or else I'll pick her up again.
Dog pile by your feet.
Okay. Well, if no one's going to ask any questions, what time is it?
8:13. Hang on, we have a few.
Okay.
People are typing, I guess.
You can also ask me questions about anime, and you can ask questions about video games, and you can ask questions about movies. Just saying.
Guest 911. Hello, absolutely love listening and watching you. I've always looked for people who know my similar beliefs.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to hear. Find it interesting that I moved next door to you. Your dogs are beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Which
Next door.
Across from next door.
Okay, that's across.
Next door. Thank you. We have puppies. We have puppies. Rebecca says, can you talk about muses or where stories come from? Are fictional stories real somewhere? Maybe imagination?
Most of them that are fictional do have a basis in reality for that particular person. Oh.
Somebody's dreaming.
For that particular person. The interpretation or the expression of that may be a little different from what they've actually experienced. But usually when a person comes up with a very elaborate fictional story in the films, it's because they were inspired to do so. Something inspired them, whether it be an event, a dream, a song, something inspired them. Now, you were asking about muses. A muse can be anything or anyone. We romanticize a lot and say that a muse is a certain type of a spirit. Well, that's very, very true, but usually that spirit is in some form or another. You may just be looking at a sunny day, or be out and see a group of clouds, and that will totally inspire you to do something. The funny thing about inspiration, though, inspiration is one of those things that's really comical. Well, at least for me, it's comical, because I usually get inspired to do really great and wonderful things when I'm absolutely broke. You know, I love being, teased that way for some reason, because, I have this elaborate idea and not a penny to make it happen. And that I guess the challenge is for me to try to make it happen penniless, which is what I'm doing with Falcare. However, your muse can be anything or anyone. You hear people saying all the time, "You're my muse," or
I'm your muse.
"This person is my muse."
I am.
You
I had to do it.
whatever. Yes, you're my muse.
I'm your muse. Oh, Scoochies.
Well, you're my favorite person to film.
Ah, except for that department.
So that could be almost anything. It takes nothing to be inspired. If you're a person that looks for magic, look all around you. You can even look within yourself. Almost anything can inspire you to do anything. I was inspired to open Unicorn Cove. I was inspired to open a bakery. I was inspired to do art. I was inspired to do dance, or to do music, or create film, or do sculpture. There's always something. I mean, all of the people that I've met in my life, sometimes I will look at them and they will inspire me to do magnificent things. And there's my muse right there. The cool thing is that I was gifted in such a way that I can manifest anything that I can see. So I have quite a good relationship with muses. Now, what was the second part of that question?
Second part was
Talking about muses
are fictional stories real somewhere, and
Yes.
maybe imagination.
Well, for instance, I have always identified with Thor, god of thunder, who in earlier times was actually called Shango. But there's a lot of people that would debate about that. I go with the facts, so okay. Well, when I was little, I thought maybe I was Thor, which is really, really quite funny. I did my very first spell when I was like 8 or 9, somewhere around there. And it was a storm spell because I felt it. I identified totally with Thor, god of thunder. And, I read the comics and all of that good stuff. And, so one day I did what all little kids do, little boys do. I grabbed a towel. I tied it around my neck. I made up a little Thor type headdress. I grabbed a hammer. I went outside, and in my mind, it made sense that in order for me to be able to summon a storm, I had to start with something. And way off in the distance, in the San Bernardino Mountains, I saw clouds, thunderhead, and it looked like they were having a snowstorm. So I started chanting with my hammer in my hand, and I remember the spell, and I'm not going to do it right now because it does work. And I got so infused in it, just totally into it. And I'm on the front porch of my house and in our neighborhood, and I was the most unusual child anyway in the whole block. And here I am swinging this hammer around, summoning these clouds and thunder and rain and wind and lightning. And all of a sudden, this group of clouds that was way off in the distance started coming my way. And, being a kid, we get cocky and stuff. And so I got into it, and all of a sudden something happened. I got taken over by the spell. I mean, I felt something moving through me, like this force, this maddening force that was just rushing. And then these clouds got big and they were huge and they were coming, and I didn't stop because I figured, oh, they're not going to get here. And I just kept doing it. And people were out on the front porch looking at me doing this. What is this crazy fool doing? And I just kept doing it. So I kept going, and I'm swinging the hammer, and all of a sudden, this huge lightning bolt just went wham, and then I went, and the wind started howling, and the whole sky was black, and it looked like I just realized it. And this is in California, and it started thundering and raining and hailing, and I stopped everything I was doing. I went, oh my God, and I ran inside. I hid by my mom's bed and said, please, I won't do it again. I won't do it. It'll make me go away. And I sat there, and this feeling, was still running through me. My hands were shaking, and I remember I didn't go outside for 3 days after that because I said, maybe I really am Thor. So yeah, that was funny. So it's not when I make hero movies or I make God and goddess movies, it's because of experiences like that. So I would dare say that other people have great experiences too. I have thousands of great experiences, but that's just one of them. That everything that I do has to be very epic, because that storm was epic. That feeling was epic. So I would say that other people have the same thing. So yeah, a lot of them are from reality. And I happen to know that some of the alien movies that we watched are from reality. And I also happen to know that some of the horror movies are based upon someone actually experiencing something. Now, I'm not talking about when they say something, this is based on a true story. Because let me tell you what that means. That means that someone could have taken a picture and got an image, yet they blew it up into some gigantic movie and then said it's based on a true story, and that's technically true. However, when I hear some of the things that I've read and what I've seen about the Warrens, and no disrespect to them, I'm just saying that they fabricated a lot of things. Okay, they just did, because I've been a fighter of dark things for quite some time, and there are rules, and they break many of them. And if they broke the rules and they actually had what they said they had, they'd have disappeared a long time ago. Anyway, I hope that helps you out.
Rebecca says, that's awesome. Marshall asks, divine law, ?
Divine law. Divine law is irrefutable. We like to make up a lot of things and we like to compromise, but when the divine law comes into place, this is one of the chief rules of divine law. These rules should be adhered to. There are certain things that you don't joke about. There are certain things you don't make light of. There are certain things that you walk away from, period. One of them, you do not mess with another person's free will. You do not violate a person's free will. Okay? That is a universal law. 2, we do not joke. We do not play. We do not, what's the other thing that means joke? Whatever means joke or make light of. Disrespect in any way, shape, or form the Holy Spirit. We do not do that. Okay? That is a divine law. What we call love is supposed, and I say supposed to be, unconditional. However, one does not say that they love someone unconditionally. If you truly want to love someone unconditionally, then you will become one with them. That does not mean that you throw away your discriminative ability. That does not mean you throw away your discernment. That does not mean that when a person does you bad, that you constantly forgive them from doing you bad and then enable them to do it even more. That's not what that means. What it means is that you don't place any price on love. And people do it all the time. I love you if. I love you when. Okay? Those particular things. We do not do that. Love is love. Period. Now, don't make any mistakes. Love is love. You can love someone, yet not want to be around them. Okay? It merely means that you accept the universal love the way universal love is. And sometimes universal love is for all beings and for all things. Does not mean that you deny yourself in the name of love. Divine law has many nuances to it, but divine law is always absolute, even when absolute means it has great liberty. One cannot be hateful and say that they are following the ways of divinity. One cannot be racist and say that they are following the law of divinity. One cannot destroy, kill, unless it is entirely necessary, and say that they are into divine law. All you people that are not meat eaters, that is not a field day for you. That is not an excuse to have a field day and say that other people are killing animals. You do have to eat, and you can expect a whole race of beings to all of a sudden, because you don't like meat, to follow your way. Maybe it doesn't sit right with you. What that basically means is that if you can avoid it, you do not take anyone or anything's life. Understand that there is a wide berth to universal law, but it is always absolute. Universe pretty much means all things brought to one. Even darkness is part of the universe, and even darkness knows universal law. But they will do anything and everything they can without breaking the law to remain dark and evil, and to do all of those things that darkness and evil would do. If there is a law that you were asking about, universal law, the law of oneness, which means that we are all one. We are all one. At least on this earth, we are all one. We live in the etheric field of this earth, so to call ourselves different races is absolutely absurd. And since we all are one on this planet, because we live in the etheric field of the earth, that also means that much of our origin is here on this earth. And because it is here on this earth, we don't get to look at someone else and call them different. We should all take a look at some of the things that have been happening in this particular year, some of the things that have happened even in our history and in the history of the world, and think about some of the things that we're doing and look at how much we have actually moved away from universal law. And now we are moving towards universal law, but it doesn't mean that those things that are against universal law have eased up. They are still just as vehement about breaking universal law. And it is up to us to maintain universal law and keep the love and keep the light flowing, and also make sure that we are being in a state of oneness. So, I hope that helps y'all.
That's it. No more questions.
Yeah. So, as I said, if you all have questions, you can give us a call at area code 207-347-5686, or on our chat room. Please tell your friends about the show. The more people that are coming and ask questions, the more I get to teach. Now, good question about universal law. I very rarely get asked about universal law. And myself being a psychic policeman, so to speak, or not a police psychic, although I am perfectly willing to work with police. I am a psychic policeman, which basically means that I have the ability to police the spiritual world. Okay? That means I do things like break curses, uncross. I can break spells that are placed on other people. I do exorcisms, land blessings, spirit removals, banishments, and all of those good things. If you've contacted me, you have contacted the police force of the universe. I am not the only policeman, I am one of many. However, that is my gift. I am also someone that gets access into the Akashic Records, or what we call the Hall of Akashic Records. It's not really a hall, but it's like standing in the middle of a huge library where every information about every single thing goes through. And I do readings, I do counselings, I teach classes. If you need me, I'm very easy to get a hold of. If you do give us a call and please leave a message. Okay, I may not get back to you right away, but I will get to you. All right, is there anything else at all?
No.
Check again and get off of that.
I looked. No questions.
All right, I'd like to thank you all for joining us on the show this evening. Please try to stay clear of all of the madness and the craziness out there. If it comes down to election time, you vote for who you want to elect. Don't be boxed in by anyone, and don't follow the crowd just because the crowd is being loud. For those people that are out there protesting things, please keep your protests peaceful. If you see that the protest is about to turn ugly, leave. Go away. Vacate the premises. You do not need to be caught up in madness. We have enough madness. We don't need to be pouring more madness into the sea of madness that is out there. And for you people that are out trying to make something happen, keep doing it. Keep going with what it is that you want to do in your life. Remember, if you are doing what it is that you love to do, the universe will meet you on the street corner that you want to do it with. All you have to do is remain consistent and be loyal to your cause. Be loyal to those things that you want to do in your life, and be honest with yourself and understand, listen, it doesn't matter if anybody likes you so long as you love what you're doing. You know, so long as you can express yourself and be what you want to be. All of that being said, remember what I've said to you, all of you women. Evidently, there are certain parts of the judicial system that has proven that they really don't care about the lives of women. And I, for one, am not willing to stand by and just watch that happen. And hopefully you don't stand by and watch that happen. You know, if you know that these people are around you, we all need to shun them. And that goes for any other sexist or racist behavior. Shun the racist. Shun the sexist. Refuse to be a part of, the media promoting such ugly things. Okay? Refuse. Shut them down. If you know that there's a place that is racist, don't go there. And if your friend chooses to go there, you tell them, well, I can't go over there with you. Okay? If your friend chooses to be racist, they are not your friend. Get away from them. If your friend chooses to be sexist, they are not your friend. Get away from them. Okay? That's just the way that it is. You just have to do that. Remember, racism is something that is taught. So is sexism. The way to teach them to do the opposite is by shunning them, shutting them out, letting them stay with themselves, okay, until they figure out something. The universe is a big place, and there are many different types of people, and we all need each other. Literally, we are all one. And we are all one. Not we are all one except for you people that want to be separate. All right. Thanks a lot for joining the show this evening. I really do appreciate it. As I said, please tell your friends. Okay? So until next week, you all have a wonderful evening. Okay? Unicorn out.